It's really great to be able to wake up in the morning and not need any stimulant like coffee to get me going for my day. Stay tuned to find some alternatives that you can use that are healthy to be able to wake up in the morning to and be able to really enjoy the rest of your day. Hi, and welcome to Food for Thought. My name is Barbara Kerr, and I'm glad you've joined me today. Today we're going to be talking about a subject, and there's a lot to cover, so we're going to kind of go fast, and I'm going to just hold on as we go through. We're going to be talking about healthy drinks, and it's one of the things that I think really we as Americans are very much hung up on drinking the wrong things. And I'm going to try and show you some alternatives that you can use today to drink in the morning. If you're used to drinking your coffee and your tea and you're addicted to it and you don't want to give it up, just listen to everything I have to say, and hopefully I'll be able to show you something that sounds appealing to you that you might want to try, because I think you'll find something you really like. What we have scheduled to show you today is we're going to be making a really great hibiscus tea, which takes the place of the sweetened tea that I used to drink during the summer all year long. This is a wonderful tea as an alternative for that. We're also going to make a cranberry tea, which is really nice if you're going to have people over at the holidays or you just want something different to have for your company. We're going to make a really great Swiss mocha aroma with a tofu whipped cream. I know that might not sound so great, but it really tastes good. I hope you'll stay tuned for that. Then we're going to also make a carob milkshake and a tropical frost, which is one of my absolute favorites. So I hope that you will really see something today that you like. When we drink, we are in this pattern in our lives of getting up in the morning and starting our day off with sometimes 2, 3, 4. I know somebody who drinks 6 cups of coffee in the morning to get going. They have one of those old steins that's huge from Germany, and it holds 6 cups of coffee, and they drink this 3 times a day. They eventually exhausted their adrenal glands and became very, very ill and had to go through a course of treatment to really change what they were doing, and it took them an entire year to be able to recover. And hopefully you don't drink 6 cups of coffee at a time, but I'm going to try and show you some alternatives today that I think that you can use and maybe enjoy just as much to get you started in your day that won't be harmful. Now, coffee, as we know, we've all heard of, has caffeine in it, which is a stimulant that is very, very hard on the inside of our body. What happens when we consume caffeine is that immediately the nerve endings in our stomach become alarmed, and they start throwing toxins at it. They get very stimulated. They're trying to get the poison out of the body. That is the feeling that you get that keeps you awake when you're driving down the road. You see it as feel it as an excitement or sort of the caffeine high. And what's happening, though, is your body is trying to get rid of it as much as it can. One thing that there is as an alternative that you can use to coffee is called Aroma. This is a really nice product. I think it tastes very similar to coffee. I myself have liked and enjoyed decaffeinated coffee from time to time. Back when I used to work, when I was in nursing school, I loved drinking decaf coffee. And I think this tastes very close to coffee. It is made from roasted malt barley, and roasted chicory. There's nothing in it that is a stimulant. This is completely good for you. And you just use it just like you would your instant coffee, putting it into hot water. I guess before we go too much further, the one thing that gets overlooked the most is water. We're a society that doesn't drink water anymore. And when you don't drink water, you don't have any means of really cleaning out your blood. Everything in our body requires fluid. And without the water that we put in, we're not going to have what we need to cleanse our system. I drink only distilled water because I personally, through my own research, feel that it is the purest, cleanest water. I know there's different controversy in different ways. If you're using a filter, you need to change it frequently, but I like distilled because when I test it on the little monitor, the little thing you can stick down in your water, it tests very close to 0, which is what I want. When you test tap water, a lot of times we found anywhere between 150 to almost up to 400 particles per million, I think. It's a funky little meter that you stick down in water. If you go to your Culligan man, he can bring it over to your house and give your tap water a test to see how many contaminants are in there. But it's very important that we start our day by drinking as much water as possible. One thing that I like to tell people is that you wouldn't go to your sink after you're done with your dinner and wash your dishes with Coke. People are like, no, are you crazy? But a lot of times we do that in our own body. We don't put water in to clean it. We drink Coke and we drink Pepsi and we drink coffee and we drink all these things, and then we're fine for a while, but then things start to happen eventually. If they haven't happened yet, if you keep it up for enough years, it will eventually ruin your health, which is something that has happened to me in the past. So I am speaking somewhat from experience and things that I've seen along the way. Now I drink things that other people consider gross, and I don't mind the taste. It is something that takes a gradual change. One thing that I love, I start off my day with a glass of aloe vera juice. I used to get very expensive aloe vera juice at the health food store, and I paid between $20 and $25 a gallon for it. Now I have found this brand. It is a very good brand. It's cold processed and field grown, and you can buy this at Walmart for $7.97 a gallon. If I had started drinking aloe vera years ago when I really wasn't feeling well, I know for myself that I probably could have kept myself from having as many health problems as I did. And if you're going to try aloe, you want to get a brand that isn't real thick. Especially if you're going to start out and you're a novice at it, you want something that just is the aloe juice. You don't want to get and try and drink the gel, because it really is very unpalatable, even to put it into glasses of orange juice. So I really recommend, if you want to try something, this is like putting a Band-Aid on your intestinal tract. I mean, if you have any kind of digestive problems, I use this to control Crohn's. I've been drug-free for 4.5 years, and I still have flare-ups, but I use my aloe and I use my barley green, and I drink a lot of water and some fresh juices, and that's how I take care of that. I'll be telling more about that on the Presents program I do with Linda and Danny. There are a lot of different alternatives. This Postum is something that you can also use as a coffee substitute. This one is a little different. It's made out of wheat bran and wheat molasses and maltodextrin, which is from corn, and it has natural coffee flavor in it. It tastes very good, but it's a little bit harder to dissolve. It takes just a few seconds longer. I've told you I like to drink my barley green. This is the most nutritionally dense food that you can get anywhere in the grocery store without juicing your own barley green that you've grown yourself. So this is spray dried when it's cold, and I just mix it into water in the morning, and it gives me a lot of nutrition to get my day started. And I can't live without my barley green now. It really is great with chlorophyll and all kinds of vitamins. What we're going to make for you today, we're going to start off with hibiscus tea. I found this tea in Florida at a little woman's herb shop, and her name is Mrs. Mango. And so far, it's the only place that I have found the hibiscus tea at. So we're going to put in 2 quarts of distilled water, 9 hibiscus flower tea bags, and we're going to use honey to taste, about 1/2 cup. I'm going to go ahead and put this into I use my teapot, well, it's a coffee pot, but I use it only for the tea that I make. And we're going to, I guess before I get that boiling water pouring out onto my fingers, and I break something, I'm going to go ahead and put my tea bags in here. This isn't quite 2 quarts, but this is the way that I like to make tea in the summer, because I just keep this going whenever it runs out, and then I put it in the fridge. After it cools, I like to put the honey in it. And there's a little, that way I can keep all of the nutrition in the honey too. We're just going to let this brew while we make our other ones. I want you to see the beautiful color it is. It turns the most beautiful pinky red color. It's just wonderful. It's a very sweet flavor. And the only place that I found to find it so far is at Mrs. Mango's, like I said. And you can write in for the resource sheet, and it will be available at the end of the program. Now we're going to move on to our cranberry tea, which is next. And this is really a great little recipe that you can make. The recipe calls for 1 bag of fresh cranberries, but we're going to use the liquid cranberries right now because they're not in season. The recipe that we're going to use for this today is very simple. It's going to be, we're going to use 1 1/8 cups of unsweetened pure cranberry juice, 3 cinnamon sticks, 5 whole cloves, 1 1/2 quarts of distilled water, 1/2 cup honey, the juice of 1 orange, and the juice of 1 lemon. You're going to add 1 1/2 cups water after cooking. What we're going to do is we're going to start, we already have some water that's been heated on the stove. We're going to, you want to bring that to boiling, and you're going to put in your bag. If you have a bag of fresh cranberries, you can use that. Otherwise, you're going to put in 1 1/8 cups of pure cranberry juice, which seems to be missing right now from our set. So my assistant's going to get that. The next thing that we're going to go ahead and put in is the cinnamon sticks. Cinnamon sticks are really great. Just give it a nice spicy flavor. We're going to put 3 of these in here, and we're going to put in 5 cloves. So you can count those out. That's the whole cloves. And very nice and tasty. That'll just, after it simmers for a few hours, it'll be very nice. Give it a real nice flavor. Then we're also going to put in the juice of 1 lemon, and we want the juice of 1 orange. And then when we're all done,
excuse me, I found it.
Thank you, you're a wonderful assistant. This is Claudia Welty. She helps me out whenever I'm in trouble here. And
she tries.
Thank you, Claudia, for finding that for us in a pinch. This is 100% pure cranberry juice. This is not the kind of thing you want to open up and just take a big drink of, because it is just the cranberries that have been juiced. And you can find this in the grocery stores. Different ones will carry different brands. So, or if you can't find it at a grocery store that has a health food section, just look for it at your health food store. And we're going to put in, oh, it smells good, 1 1/8 cups of cranberry juice. Oh, it makes it a beautiful color. I wish we had a glass pot that you could see the color of the juice. Cranberries are a lot of good things in them for you, high in vitamin C. We're just going to turn this up, and we want this to simmer now. I don't know if you can, here, give this to me just for a second. I'm just going to stir this. I don't know if you can already see that this is a really pretty color, and it smells good down here. We're going to go ahead and, I hate putting honey in too early, but we're going to go ahead and put the honey in now. Thank you. Give it a nice sweet flavor. And we're going to go on to our next drink, which is going to be the Swiss Mocha Aroma. This is a nice alternative if you like, if you're used to drinking things like cappuccinos or something that are like lattes that have a frosty. I mean, I know they put the steamed milk in, which gives it that creamy flavor. Well, this recipe has a nice creamy flavor, and it's really a nice recipe. And the Swiss Mocha Aroma ingredients are 3 teaspoons of Aroma roasted beverage, 1/2 cup water, 3/4 cup carob rice dream, 1 tablespoon carob powder, 2 tablespoons of honey, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of tofu whipped cream. And we're going to start this recipe today by mixing it up in our, well, you know, this recipe we're going to mix up into a cup, and we're going to make our blender tofu whipped cream so that you can have that ready to put in there at the end. And that recipe for our tofu whipped cream, which you would just whip it up in your blender, put these ingredients together. We're not going to make this today. Is 1 cup firm silken-like morinu tofu, 1 tablespoon plus 1 1/2 teaspoon canola oil, 2 teaspoons water, 2 tablespoons honey, 1/2 teaspoon lemon juice, 1/8 teaspoon salt, and 1 1/2 teaspoons pure white vanilla. So that is what you need to make your tofu whipped cream, which is a really nice light colored flavored tofu whipped cream. You have to try it. I know that when people say tofu anything, it sounds gross, but I really like to come up with things that are made out of tofu that really taste good. We're going to start with our water, and we're going to put this into our blender. And we're just going to blend this. And what I like to do is heat the water in the microwave. but we don't. I'm just going to put these ingredients in for you. This is our Carob Rice Dream. Carob Rice Dream is a non-dairy beverage alternative too. It's a very nice flavor. It's made out of brown rice, and it's a very nice taste. We're going to put honey in as our sweetener. Now the Roma, which is this grain beverage that's going in, is what will give it the coffee flavor. And we're going to put in a little carob powder, and we'll put in our, this can't possibly be for this recipe. We're going to just blend this up. Just going to mix this up, and we're going to cook it and heat it, and then we're going to whip our tofu whipped cream into that. This is really easy to heat in the microwave, and then you can just put it back into your blender and put your tofu whipped cream into it, and then whip it up. It looks very nice. But for the sake of time today, I'm going to just put this in the blender so you can see what it looks like. It's a very nice color. And when this is heated and steaming, this is a wonderful drink to drink, especially on one of those evenings where you're just chilly and you want something nice to drink. I think I'm going to go ahead and just pour this into one of our glasses. You can see our hibiscus tea is looking beautiful. It's just a wonderful color. I just love that. It's beautiful. So we have this just has a nice chocolatey flavor with whipped cream in it. It's a beautiful drink. Very, very good tasting. Next, we're going to make up a drink that I really enjoy, and that is called a tropical frost. It's a recipe that I've come up with completely on my own. Some of the recipes I like, as a hobby of mine, I like to take recipes and try them, and if I don't think they taste good and they're a health recipe, I like to change the ingredients to make it so that where I really think that it tastes great. And this next recipe is one that I love, tropical flavored drinks. I love coconut, and I love pineapple and mangoes. Anything tropical, I love it. So I came up with this recipe, and I really enjoy the ingredients that go into this. And we are going to be using 1/2 cup coconut juice, 1 tablespoon pure lime juice, 1 frozen banana, 1 tablespoon shredded coconut unsweetened, and 5 to 6 ice cubes. Now the coconut juice that I've gotten for this is one that I get at the grocery store also, but I don't buy the ones that are sweetened. I just use the unsweetened, which you can get. This brand happens to be Lakewood, and it's fresh pressed fruit coconut. There are a lot of coconut juices at the store, but if you read the ingredients, sugar is the number 2 ingredient, and you don't want to use that. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this in here. We're going to start with our coconut juice, which this is really a very mild tasting juice, and the lime juice, 1 tablespoon of lime juice really gives it a real limey flavor if you enjoy that. We're going to put in our coconut and 1 frozen banana, which we're going to break into pieces, which makes it a little bit easier when it mixes up. And we're going to blend this, and then we're going to add 6 ice cubes at the end, which gives it a nice frosting. This blender seems to be having difficulty with my bananas. Let's try that again. Now I have one that's more square, a blender. Let me take one of these pieces out and see if it'll blend up better with 2. actually. Really want to blend that up good. We're going to add our 6 ice cubes then, and it'll become real frosty. You need to be patient with it. It can take about 5 minutes. We're going to put in our ice cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blender doesn't seem to be wanting to blend this as well, so I'm going to blend it with my other blender, which is fine. This one will blend it blends the carob shake beautifully. Different blenders are different shapes, and sometimes they will take ice cubes better than others. So we'll just rinse that out real quick. We'll put our tropical frost. This really is delicious. If you can get it mixed, maybe try some shaved ice with it. Mix it up. It makes it a little bit easier, but it's really a great recipe, and you'll enjoy it. So my assistant quickly, I did find my honey and realized that goes to our hibiscus tea, so we'll put that here so we don't forget it. It's done brewing now, and it's just a beautiful color. Absolutely gorgeous. I just love it. Once you put this in the refrigerator and it cools down and you put honey into it, it's wonderful. It's just like sweetened tea that you're used to drinking during the summer. Thanks, Claudia. You're welcome. Let's try this in this blender now and see if we can. All right, it's on there. We'll put our ingredients in. Mix this up. This even takes a little while in my blender, but I guess I'm ready. You know, maybe this is just one of those drinks we shouldn't try. Let's try this with the lid on. Once it actually gets mixing. One of those things that keeps you humble. If I was perfect, I wouldn't be. As you can see, it's actually starting to mix up now. It'll be nice and frosty, and then we'll put it in one of our glasses. This is beautiful. Thank you. That we have sufficiently mixed up our tropical drink now. Let's just see if that's all the ice cubes are. Oh, and it's wonderful. It's just beautiful and icy. We're going to pour some in here so you can see. Just a very pretty, it's a very nice limey flavor. And what I like to do for just a little added, just stick a strawberry on there, and when you serve that, it's just beautiful. It tastes wonderful. You can tell your husband, honey, take me to the tropics. Give him one of these. It's really great. Next, we're going to mix up our carob shake, and I'm going to just rinse this out, and we'll put it in here. I don't want to waste any of this. And here are the ingredients for the carob milkshake: 1 1/2 frozen bananas, 1 tablespoon carob powder, 2 tablespoons pure maple syrup, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 cup carob rice dream, which is a non-dairy beverage, and 6 ice cubes. This is really my favorite drink to make in the summertime. My son absolutely loves it. And you start by putting 1 1/2 frozen bananas in. I just keep frozen bananas in my freezer all the time. When they start to get ripe, I just peel them, and then I just put them right into a Ziploc baggie and suck the air out. Probably the best part. I look pretty funny doing it, but I save a lot of bananas that way, and we have this drink about every single day during the summer. It's really great. We're just going to pour our rice dream in over the top. We blend this. You want to blend this up very well first, and then we're going to put our ice cubes in. So we'll see if we can blend this one better than the first one. bananas were frozen a little bit harder today. Let's give this a little stir and see how this is. I think our bananas were very, very frozen today. I like to use those wooden spoons. Just blend this up. And now we're ready to add our ice cubes. We're going to put in 6. And we will blend this. This makes it really frosty. It tastes really great, just like ice cream. Now just let this blend up. And now our carob shake is all mixed up. This is really nice to have in the summertime when you're hot. It tastes a lot like a chocolate milkshake. It's beautiful too. And this recipe will make 2 good-sized glasses. No, you want to have more than for one person. So it's really great. It's wonderful. I just love it. What we're going to do is go ahead and dish up so you can see what these different drinks look like. I need to get this out of the way. And let me go ahead and give that to you, Claudia. And you can see the beautiful color of the hibiscus tea. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's really a pretty tea. We're just going to mix our honey into it. And it's still warm, so that dissolves in wonderfully. And this just takes the place of sweetened tea. It's great. And our cranberry tea is also smelling very good. Go ahead and stir that, and we'll just spoon that into here. Give that a stir. The cinnamon is wonderful. And as soon as you dish that up, we'll just put a cinnamon stick in it for garnish. Makes it very beautiful. If you serve this to your company at the holidays, they're going to love you. Remember, if you would like the address for Mrs. Mango, you can write in for the resource sheet at the end of the show. Thank you for being with us today, and I hope that you've found a beverage here that you would like to try soon.
If you've enjoyed the recipes and cooking tips in this program, you'll want to order our Food for Thought resource sheet. We'll tell you how you can order the cookbooks you've seen used on this program, along with other information that will help you cook healthful, attractive vegetarian meals. For your free copy of our Food for Thought resource sheet, please write to us at Food for Thought, P.O. Box 220, West Frankfort, Illinois 62896, or call 618-627-4651.